the story of 4 sisters. Unlike her other sisters, the eldest was tall and dark, with a sense of duty and one of adventure that took her around the world. The next was sporty, but accident-prone, something that may have led to her future career. The third was a great beauty with a knack for DIY and a kind heart, but a temper you did not want to cross. And the youngest was quirky and creative, with an artist's flair and an infectious laugh. This is my great-grandmother, Jessie Kate, known to her grandchildren as Mimi. But this isn't the story of her and her sisters, at least not entirely. Today, I want to tell you a bit about mine. Kira comes after me. A life-threatening accident nearly ended Kira's life at 8. She lived. And now she went on to challenge the norm by training as a nurse while raising 3 kids. She currently works as an OR nurse, maybe a bit like Mimi's sister, Helen, who was also a nurse and an independent woman. Corinnia owns her own business, is an outspoken vegan, and inspires me with her constant large-scale home renovation projects. She's the one you really don't want to mess with. Perhaps a bit like Aunt Roxy, who mysteriously came back from her honeymoon without her husband, only to see him for the first time again when they both ended up in the same nursing home. She was eventually kicked out for throwing food at him and using some pretty choice words. Actually sounds a lot like Corinnia. The youngest is Katya. Katya is a hairstylist, an artist, a craft warrior, and she uplifts me with her love of costume and crochet, animals and art. Super hardworking, and maybe a bit like Ida Bell, who was known as Idy. She was brash and bold and worked as a telephone operator in the early days of the telephone. Katya has a similar pioneering spirit, despite the fact that she is a self-professed homebody. Sisters who grew up together. One group in the early 20th century, one much later. The groups of sisters never got to share the stories with each other because we have never met, but there are plenty of stories to share. As I look back on Idy and her sisters, without ever having met them, I know that they had each other's backs. And that's the thing about my sisters. I'm the one who's the eldest, with the sense of duty, but also the sense of adventure. So I'm across the world, but I know that wherever I am, I have a team behind me. A tribe that challenges me, inspires me, uplifts me, and that we all come from a line of some pretty badass women.